Hello there. How are you? Happy New Year. Welcome to the New Year. How was your New Year's Eve today? How did it go for you? Did you enjoy it? I sure hope no life-changing events happened to you in the wake of New Year's Eve. And I hope you had the best New Year's Eve of your life, as was expected. Oh, well, here we are. Oh, I've been away for some time, but now I'm back with the whole... I just had to adjust to shifting into nightmare mode for 2025. I went into this year thinking it was to be my best, but now I'm into it knowing that it will be my worst. Oh, no. Anyway, let's get on with the Oscars then, shall we? I probably shouldn't talk too much else about anything else, otherwise I'll start yelling about my girlfriend like I did last time I tried to record this. My ex, I should say. Anyway, the Oscars. Whoop-de-doo. So the talk about topical shit right now. Oh, the Oscars that were 7 months ago now at this point. But really not much to say in terms of about the ceremony itself or any kind of controversy surrounding the Oscars. It seemed to be kind of a controversy-less event this year round. They even with what was winning, I was just pretty down with what was taking home the awards. I feel like with Sean Baker winning for Anora and everything, it's just there can't be a more worthy filmmaker to win such an award, except Harmony Korine, who really should have won for his AI-infected new movie. But really great to see. I mean, there couldn't be a more worthy winner, and that's great to see. Especially with a film that's just like that, shouty and screamy. I mean, I felt like watching the film, as it was going, it's just so, moving on to the next thing and the next thing. And I'm enjoying it fine enough, but I am wondering, where exactly is this going? Because it seems strange. It's just the two characters are just oh, we get married. We get married. So I can stay away from Russia and my parents. Stay away from shithole Russia. Too cold and too likely to be attacked in a falsely accused homophobic attack. It was very bad. Stay in America, away from all that shit. Oh, not to mention the war. I got away from conscription to the war. I know I can never make it. But I was wondering, why, not why, but I guess I was wondering why, why she decides to marry him exactly, and what she's kind of, it does seem transactional in terms of, just in terms of the money side of all that. But I guess the film kind of kicks off at a certain point, once, all the people come around and they have to look for the young dude, and they got to go looking for him, and they're just screaming and yelling at each other. And wow, a lot of great performances, because I was really feeling bad for the voices of the actors in this film because of how much screaming they were doing. But you know what? I found it to be enjoyable. I found it in that kind of way, kind of a hysterical but fun in that kind of way movie. So yeah, I haven't got too much to really say. I mean, it's a good movie, but and maybe my favorite of last year. But it's when I don't really seem to think too much about the movie in terms of what I saw in the movie. I'm not thinking about any extra kind of stuff. So maybe thematically the film is a little too on the sly side, and maybe there's not much in terms of a message or a massage coming through, but I do think a lot about the movie itself, and I'll definitely be keen to give it a rewatch quite soon. Well, probably a few years from now, because I just rewatched Red Rocket again recently, because that's when I kind of watching that in the cinemas is when I really became a Sean Baker fan. Red Rocket. So yeah, good on you, Anora. And then what, just going in alphabetical order? Oh no, why did I get rid of this fucking tab that had my... Although, fuck you, Anora, because actually, it fucked over my bets that I was making on all these goddamn movies. Yeah, when you try to go against the odds, just that slight amount, because I was voting on the Brutalist winning a bunch of stuff, but I was fucking wrong. I was a little surprised that Anora was able to pick up this much, because just when a film has a bit more of a, let's say, young person feel to it, like I say this film has, makes me think like, it's not gonna sweep at the Oscars, not like The Brutalist, which is like a real, monolithic movie that's like this is Kino now. That's what I thought, but hey, I guess I don't understand the Academy as best as I could. And I think like Anora seemed to catch wind. What was it? Catch breeze? Catch the breeze? Catch steam? Catch vape? It passed gas in like a couple of weeks leading up to the Oscars, and that's where the odds started to go more in its favor, because I'd look at what wins the various Guild Awards and the Golden Globes, and that's where the Brutalist was winning. But it was such a different thing back with the Golden Globes, because Anora wasn't doing that much back then. It was Emilia Perez. That back when people liked that fucking movie. Speaking of getting fucked over with bets, look, let's get into the Brutalist while we're at it. It's such a long movie. Wow. It's absolutely such an amazing. So yeah, I heard a lot about this movie, and it did look like a big production and everything. So I went along and watched it and thought it was good. I think it's like a fine film, but I'm not gonna like jizz in my parents' bed about it or anything. But yes, it is a long, involving kind of film. I didn't find it to be particularly boring though at any point. I did think some scenes, perhaps early on or perhaps later on, I feel didn't exactly need to be in the movie. But then again, if keeping it in, I guess I don't mind. I don't know. I guess the problem is that the film really does have this extremely leisurely pace where it's just like a little too hippie-ish about it. Like, I think you can cut it down a bit, damn it. But I guess the problem is that there's just certain, I don't know, the plot points don't feel like they're part of like a long, like, a film that's this long where like these kind of plot points, or let's say life events, occurring in people's lives are going to feel like organic. They do still feel like they're part of a movie, even though like with this film, because of its pacing, it's so slow, it feels like it really is kind of like a life just unfolding, and like these chance opportunities or missed opportunities or wacky misadventures like what happens at the end of the movie, all these kind of things. But what's going on in the movie is that some plot points just end up being really predictable, even if that, and the length between scenes, between scenes, but like that make up these scenes, I guess, make it easier to be able to guess, where these plot points are going. Like, we have the main character, he does heroin, like he's an opiate addict, because he has a broken nose or something. Yeah, I guess he just didn't like the Holocaust. And then, like, spoilers, I guess, he gets reunited with his wife in like the middle part of the film, and she's in a wheelchair. She's like what? She became so malnourished, she developed some sort of disease that's left her somewhat crippled, and in pain at times. So maybe he can help her out with something, but I mean, it doesn't happen immediately, and I'm sitting there like it's gonna come up in the film later, and then it does, and then what? She goes to hospital because she overdoses, and he's like, "Oh no, the consequences of my actions, damn." But yeah, anyway, when I think about the movie, like it doesn't feel anywhere near its length. I think about it as a 2-hour movie. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Like, at least the film feels like real. It feels like a biography of like a real man, and I was surprised to find that it wasn't. It's something about it just feels very lifelike and authentic in that way, especially in the first half of the film, I guess. Second half, I guess things get dramatic and characters need to be evil because that's their thematic reasoning for being that way, you know? I don't know. I actually think it's less good than I think now that I'm talking about it. I don't know, like, I know it's like all like a very handsome movie and it's, you know, like carefully assembled and in a way that's kind of a good thing, but for some films it's not. just because sometimes the nature of like how a film appears to be just doesn't match what like the film should be, you know? I think an example of this was with Nosferatu, another Oscar-nominated film that I'd say I was a bit disappointed by because the film deals after some time with like this woman who's possessed. She's going batshit. She's got like psychosexual, telepathic shit going on, and all that kind of thing, and just yeah, like I can see it. I can see it, like her possession, like in her performance. But the film itself feels like too mannered. It's very, very mannered and extremely constructed, even more so than I'd say The Brutalist. So it makes the film feel very like stilted, and it doesn't like help with the possession that it's showing. And I don't know, maybe I just want, if a film is dealing with like an emotional hysteria, then the film should match that hysteria, I think. It just feels like it's dealing with such a wacky human experience, I guess, with supernatural experience, really, in a way. But the film that it's housed in, like, isn't helping. It's actually like kind of smothering the emotional reach that like a film like that is trying to have, you know. So I didn't really think that like worked too well for the film. And I think with Nosferatu, it's just like, it feels like I could dip into that film at any point and start watching and be like, oh, this is like pretty good, you know, it looks like really cool and everything. And I like the Nosferatu character design, and the atmosphere of the film was very like, you know, genuinely like spooky and creepy at times. But the film just has no momentum. It's just really got to wonder like where is it going and why do we have this scene now? And I just didn't think from like scene to scene. It just pushed the film ahead for me, you know. And again, like I just feel like there just needs to be. It just felt too constructed, too produced, and I guess I felt that way somewhat about The Brutalist as well. But I mean, well, next, I mean, there are various. There's quite a few films I haven't seen actually. A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, Wicked, just to name a few. I mean, some of these films, I'm just like, I haven't seen them, but I'm still like, come on. I mean, really, how could that have ended up in the... Well, I don't know, like a film like A Complete Unknown, just, you know, I mean, I was kind of tempted to see it, and like I hear good enough things about it, but then I just think... This is fucking bullshit. Like, when I heard about this movie, it was like, hey, Timothée Chalamet is going to play Bob Dylan in this movie, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I heard that, I'm just like... I'm thinking, like, it's just going to get a bunch of Oscars. Like, it just pre-orders them. It's just part of it. You know, especially Chalamet, you know, I was just thinking, like, this guy's... He's just going to get an Oscar nomination. Like, it's just in the bag. And I've heard good things about it, so maybe it's deserved, but... I don't know, it just seems as predictable as the movies themselves. And as for Conclave, I didn't watch this, but man, I heard the ending of the movie was really stupid, and I thought about what that ending might have been for like a dumb movie, and I guessed accurately. I guessed accurately what the dumb ending of it was. So yeah, I'm not bothered. I saw the director's other film, the War movie, and I wasn't impressed, so I can't be bothered. And I'm not fucking... dealing with this Dune shit, man. Dune Part 2. Chapter 2. It's the second half of the movie. Alright, so I've defended one musical movie of 2024 with the new Joker movie in a previous episode. Now it's time for me to defend two other musicals from 2024 now. So we have Emilia Perez, the Oscars punching bag this year. Oh, I feel so bad for the film. Because, when they showed up to the Oscars, everyone was like, it's a great movie. Yeah, people were really having a go about it and comparing it to Crash, which won the Oscar all those years ago. And I guess I reviewed recently. I watched that recently, and yeah, you know, I mean, there's a lot of bad Oscar-winning films. Anora certainly isn't one of them. But, you know, yeah, sure, like Crash and, you know, Coda, you know, Nomadland is okay, and Green Book is just mediocre, but there's plenty of shit movies that have won the top gong, so fuck all them. But as for Emilia Perez, so, you know, like, this is one of those movies that I saw, like, at a preview screening at a critic screening before it came out, at least in Australia. This was before the backlash. Like, I was, I'll go watch this movie. I didn't know what the fuck it was going to be about, actually. So, yeah, I went to the critic screening and I'm watching it and I'm like, it's a musical. I knew it was a musical. Then it gets to, you know, the song. It's like, you know, they're talking about, like, the cartel leader, and he's like, I want to become trans, and they go to that surgery where they're like, penis to vagina, vagina to penis, and that whole thing. I like that fucking scene. When I saw that scene, I'm like, oh, this is what this movie is about. And you know what, man? I like it's just where I'm at with watching movies. I like a movie with a bit of a spark, surprise, jolt to it. I'm not thinking, like, even if I started thinking this is bad for the movie, if it just doesn't bore me, if it's like why I like Neil Breen movies. Like, I'm not, like, I think, like, oh, this is an 8 out of 10 movie. I'm not saying it's shit, because it's just, there's a lot going on in it. So yeah, that's how I was feeling with this movie as it was going on. And not that I like that sequence, that was cool, but then, like, some of the other musical songs aren't great. One of them won an Oscar, and which one was that? Who cares? It's not very good. Some of the choreography is pretty great. I guess it's good dancing. I'll give the film that, I guess. But yeah, so it's about this cartel drug dealer who becomes trans. They, like, genuinely want to. They've always felt this way, but they're also like, hey, it's a good way of getting out of the business, so to speak. But the sacrifice they make is to their wife and kids. They can't see them anymore because they basically pretend like they've been killed. The kids and the wife go to Switzerland, I think. And then years go by. You know, this cartel drug woman, she starts up a not-for-profit organization where they, like, hunt down bodies of, like, victims to give, like, you know, families and closure for, like, you know, these missing people who are presumed dead and buried, but, you know, they, like, verify their buried bodies if they can find them. So she starts that kind of organization. And I guess there isn't a whole lot of awareness in the film as to, like, well, she was responsible for some of these bodies, maybe plenty of them, and yet the film doesn't really take notice. It's just like, oh, look, now she used to, like, be bad. Not that you saw it in the movie. You don't see, like, when she was a dude killing anyone. Oh, but now she's trans and she's a good person now all of a sudden. Isn't she a fucking hero, I guess? And then she starts a relationship with another woman that shows up, like, where's my husband? Oh, whatever, fuck you. Oh, suck your woman dick. And then, I'm trying to remember what else. I don't know, like, I mean, I guess it's kind of predictable what happens in the film, because then the trans woman starts hanging out with the wife and kids again, but like acting as a cousin of someone or the other. And that's cool. Actually, that's a cool like, it's a fun enough thing to have in the film, where it's like, now she's spending all this time with the kids, and she's like, oh my God, but these are my kids, and it's my wife, but they don't know me, but they can kind of tell, and they can smell it on me and everything. So yeah, I feel like it's really not a bad, it's actually a very interesting, surprising concept for a movie. Doesn't execute it in the best way, kind of a goofy movie. I mean, and the ending is really dumb. I don't even know if I should spoil it, but it's stupid. It's so stupid. Like, it got to like the big climax, and I don't know. I laughed. I didn't know if I was. I guess I'm not supposed to, but I did, because it was so stupid. I don't even think I like this movie either. Fuck this movie. What's the other movie that I think I like and I actually don't? So the other musical I want to defend is A Better Man. The Robbie Williams biopic, where he's played by a monkey, an ape. It's kind of funny being a part of the movie. Not that it doesn't get talked about in the. Oh, obviously, people aren't saying, "Oh my God, he's a monkey," but there's not a lot of references to it, like here and there. Like, he doesn't. He says at times, he's like, "Oh, I feel less evolved than everyone else," and how that kind of. I think that's. Like, when I heard about this movie as well, like, I thought and I guess I watched the trailer and him talking about this, I thought that's a good starting off point. It kind of, how would you say, like, I don't know, cancels out, I don't know, maybe the egotism of, like, having a biopic by having yourself as a monkey and making yourself kind of look dumb and throwing feces at everyone. Well, it didn't go that far in the movie, but I don't know, it does seem a little bit like putting yourself down and making yourself yourself the joke of the film. So, like Emilia Perez, I respect the concept, the launching off point. And this biopic, I mean, it's pretty by the numbers. It's pretty general. Sort of feels like you've seen it before. I did watch it earlier in the year when I was in an emotional state, so it had an effect on me, I guess. But I think it's a lot of people, I didn't realize this, I guess there's people in America were just saying they didn't even know who Robbie Williams is, and like, who wants to see this fucking movie, and I guess it bombed and everything, because they think he's only popular in Britain. I was like, oh, all right, well, he's definitely famous in Australia. At least I remember in the late 90s, it was definitely a hit maker. His songs got played a lot, so he's definitely popular in Australia. But hey, Australia's basically part of England, I guess. Oh, whatever. But I do believe that Robbie Williams has some pretty damn good songs, actually. So like, very emotional, sad, hard on sleeve. Like, he does go there with some of his pop songs, and the way that they get presented in this movie is done very well. It's a very visual movie. There's a lot, like, with these musical numbers. Some of them kind of go back and forth between like fantasy elements or just like the craziness of fame life. So the fact that they already have this arsenal of songs, I think very much helps a film out to begin with. But I was kind of thinking, like, so it's a film about, like, a pop star going through, like, well, what he thinks is going to be like highs in his career, but end up being like, issues with, just fame, being a bitch, dealing with, being not respected, put down, like when he's in his first band, trying to move out and like be a solo artist, and obviously issues with drugs and alcohol that come with it and complicate it all and everything. So I feel that, like, this, as I was saying, it's a very visual movie. I'm not saying at all it's visually pleasant to look at, and I don't know if this is I'm sure this isn't done on purpose. I bet they didn't. I bet they think it's a good-looking movie. Well, it fucking isn't. It's a gross movie. It's got terrible, like, like your washed out color grading. It looks gray. It looks kind of like a dark blue. Like the color's taken out, even if it's kind of still there. It's like on the darker side. There's like a lot of CGI, obviously with the monkey, but like a lot of other things. There's like a one-shot dance number, obviously not done in one shot, CGI'd up the ass. It's just like, meant to just be like, ooh, impressive shot with a bunch of cars and dances, and you don't even know it's real. You don't know what's composited in and what's not, when one shot ends, when the other begins, so it's all like, who cares? I think, yeah, in terms of visual style and cinematography, there's this really gross feeling that this film puts through that actually makes the depression of the main character feel more genuine. It helps. This film is very in tune with how this main character feels, and it really adds visually to his whole, kind of shitty journey and how he feels, and that he feels like this world is kind of like garish and overly done and just like full of like bright lights and just noise and color, that's constant, and even when it is in a more relaxed state, it just feels like the color is gone. I don't know if this was done intentionally by the cinematographer, if they were thinking, it's okay if we make the film kind of look a bit ugly and look sort of disgusting. It's adding to what we're trying to put through this, the mentality of the main character. I don't know if that's what they were going for, or if they were actually trying to make it look good, because this is what they think looks good, and they want the film to look good, despite the film being about this, the grossness of celebrity life. I don't know, but I appreciate it for it. I like that it's disgusting and gross. It adds to the film. So that's my defense of Robbie. What's it called? Better Man. Well, so that's about it for the Oscars in terms of I guess I haven't said anything about the substance. Well, it's a great fucking movie. I mean, I fucking saw it so long ago that I was the one going around telling everyone how great it is, and that's why it became so popular. But I didn't talk about it on the podcast like I am now. Well, now I am. It's very good. Very nicely satirical body horror movie. Like full-on fucking body horror, that's for sure. I got really into that subgenre a few years ago, and I'm so happy to see like a film like this come out nowadays and have that kind of element in it. And a lot of body horror movies, have a thematic element to it. Like they have something to say about how we can abuse our bodies when we're trying to help them out or whatever, Could be to do with drugs or beauty, like in this movie, or whatever. And also great to see that it ended up getting so much recognition. So, I mean, the Oscars, usually bullshit, but, for Anora to win that much, even if the Brutalist had won, I'd still just be fine. I'd be like, okay, it was done. It's fine. Or if the Substance had won, the fact that it's nominated gives me a little bit of a boner. And that kind of thing. I don't know. Look, I haven't even seen Wicked, and I'm not going to. I don't know. I didn't even see trailers for it and anything. I feel like my parents would have. I don't know. They've seen the stage production. I haven't. So I didn't. I didn't see it. I don't know. I'm just gonna fucking trash this movie, even though I haven't seen it. In the same way that I can talk, how much I don't like eating dog shit, even though I've never done it before. I don't need to eat dog shit. I know Wicked is gonna suck. I don't know, and I felt just pissed off that these two cunts in the movie had Oscar nominations. I haven't seen the movie. Haven't even seen the trailer for the movie. Haven't seen two consecutive frames in the movie that could be put next to each other to create motion. I haven't even seen that amount from this movie. I've just seen screenshots of it and the poster and everything, and that whole dumb controversy. And boy, oh boy, just these two women just gross and weird. Maybe it's done on purpose, like in A Better Man, but God, they're just their chins, man. They're just, I don't know. Ariana Grande looks anorexic. She looks like, yeah. And that other bitch... Why? It's just... I don't know. Do they really deserve these Oscar nominations? Like, I didn't hear anyone say anything about these performances. I don't really have that much to complain about in terms of, like, snubs, and everything, and, like, who should have won and this and that. All I can say is, like, I wish... Well, Hard Truths, the new Mike Leigh movie, my second favorite movie of last year, that I found to be hysterical, but also very depressing. That film, I was hoping it could get a bit more buzz. It started to get a little bit. There was like, I'm sure it won BAFTAs or whatever, but it started to generate a little bit, and then it's like, oh, and then the main actress in it, Jean-Baptiste Jean-Marianne Baptiste, whatever. Like, you know, oh, maybe she get a nomination or whatever, and she fucking should have. She's fucking great in the movie. She makes the movie. It's why the movie really is so great. It's why it's so funny for the first half, and then so depressing. Oh man, it's a great performance. So I feel like if you had swapped her out for this Cynthia Nixon performance that I didn't. Oh, whoops. Cynthia Erivo, I mean. Not the redhead gilf. If you'd replaced her, even though I didn't even see that, but maybe that should have happened, and then you couldn't even complain about like having a black woman get knocked out of the nominations. Not that anyone gives a shit about that anymore, anyway. But just in case you wanted to fucking complain about it, you can't now, anyway. But aside from that, I don't really have any big complaints. I'm a little surprised about the Kieran Culkin win for best supporting role in A Real Pain. That film got a few nominations, but like he was a real lock for that performance. Let me just say, it's a pretty damn good performance. Very fine acting, very, you know, adding up to like, oh, a very complicated character in this movie. No, I was not a fan of A Real Pain. It is one of the... I don't watch a lot of bad movies, but it is one of the worst ones of the year. And this Kieran Culkin character, it's just ludicrous. You start seeing him throughout this movie, and he's just like really just super passive-aggressive. Super passive-aggressive. Just big time. And in real life, you'd be like, oh, this guy, you know... He's got his opinions, got his point of view, but, you know, the way he puts it through, you know, does he have to be such a dick about it, you know? Can he just be like, hey, guys, where can we? And whatever. The thing is, like, the film, like, the characters in the film, because he hangs out with, like, a Holocaust concentration camp tour guide kind of thing. So he's hanging out with, like, people there, and they see how he is, and they're like, wow, he's so charming. It's just nuts. I hate it when, like, a film, and the film is saying this as well, not just those characters. Like, you can tell it. The characters, when they talk about this guy, the film is not being satirical when it shows these characters talking about this dude. No, the film really does seem to think this is a charming character, and, oh, he has his problems, man, but through his problems, he's really got a lot of wisdom, and he can show, like, oh, the way, a different perspective on looking at... Yeah, and it's not cool. It's not something I agree with. I'm just being bullshitted by the film. It's telling me how to feel about a character, and it's not working, so get the hell out. Anyway, a lot of movies I realize now, looking over, that I haven't seen from the Oscars themselves, you know. People was like, oh, you have to watch, you know. No, I don't. Gotta watch this, and I like to leave, maybe I don't like to, but I tend, like, you know, you got your 8 or however many nominations for Best Picture every year, and every time I look at them, at least by the end of January or whenever, I've watched at least half. But I look at them and I'm like, I'm not watching that, you know. It's like, I'm not gonna watch maybe I will watch A Complete Unknown. I'm not watching Conclave. I'm not watching Dune Part 2. I'm very likely not going to be watching Nickel Boys or I'm Still Here, and I'm not watching Wicked. But you know what I am going to watch? Megalopolis. I've been meaning to watch that movie since it came out. I think I should have watched it at an opening thing. One of my mates went to that, and he said it was a fucking hilarious movie. He loved it. So, I don't know, man. I've heard so many bad things. There's a lot of good things as well. Oh, man. Oh, I just don't know. I don't know what, like, you know, when I watched the trailer for that film, I'm like, okay, yeah, could be something, could be interesting. Boy, because I've heard, you know, some people say, like, it's great, you know, it's just, you know, kino. And then I've heard other people just go, it's like, not too great or unacceptable, it's just fucking bad. Well, let me see for myself, why don't I? Oh, I gotta watch that shit, man. I gotta go to the library and borrow out the DVD. Oh, I hate that that's not a joke. I really am gonna be doing it. Hey guys, you can go to the library and get out DVDs. Anyway, what's next on the agenda? Or should I leave it at that, actually? Oh, actually, one Oscar-related film that I forgot to talk about right now was Terminator Salvation. Remember Terminator Salvation? So, I don't know why. I've been watching a lot of Hack the Movies. I've been watching a lot of, like, podcast, YouTube, whatever things, you know, talking about movies that I don't care about. Like, listening to a 2-hour thing about, what's the worst Star Wars movie? Like, why do I care? Like, why? I don't watch Star Wars. Anyway, so I've been watching a lot of them and not Red Letter Media. Because, like, with Red Letter Media, like a half in the bag, I'll watch, like, half of it. And after that, I'm like, okay, I get it. So I don't watch too much of them, I guess. But anyway, yeah, so they mentioned Terminator, like, what's the worst movie? And then, like, I should watch Terminator Salvation. I bought the Blu-ray for $6 a couple of years ago, and it's been sitting on my shelf. I should, you know, it's, like, I kind of thought, like, it'd be nostalgic. Because I was 18 when it came out and watched it, and I enjoyed it fine enough back then, but I just never saw it again until last night. I watched the extended director's cut, which is like 3 minutes longer. And boy, you know, there's a movie I'll never watch again. Yeah, it's not very good, is it? It's really not good, actually. Because even like the very big, like first 10 minutes or whatever the movie I'm watching it, I'm just like, you just get that feeling like you're just not having the film bring you into the film, you know, like the first Terminator or Terminator 2, you know. What's going on in like the first 10, 20 minutes? You see these characters we're walking around doing their thing wherever they're at, you know, maybe oblivious to where the whereabouts of one of the other characters, or they're trying to figure out where one of the other characters is as they're trying to find, you know, the other character, but they also got to go to the other character and deal with them. But it's a bunch of that, but like, you know, it's showing these like four different lives are about to interconnect. But in this Terminator Salvation, it just gets like straight into, you know, like, you know, gonna do a mission, like go to the where these satellites are and blow it up, and we need to get like what is it, frequency sound thing to control the robots. That's like kind of a big thing in the movie, but then it doesn't go anywhere like from that point on. Yeah, that's the problem with this movie, is that there's no real attention paid to like very much anything. There's you know, so like the story, there's not really much to like really care about with like this mission. I guess the real story is Kyle Reese gets kidnapped at a point, and they have to grab him, like that robot human cyborg and John Connor. So that's why they have to go in there. They can't. I think they're meant to blow it up, but that's like kind of the order, but like he has to save Kyle Reese, otherwise they're all fucked, I guess. That's how much he knows. So, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. It's just the problem with the characters, like, and especially the acting, but like, it really is just like, these characters just fucking blow, man. There's just nothing to them at all. Like, that, the redhead in the movie, like, she's like a big actress and whatever, but she does nothing in the movie. She's just like, yes, we need to get the thing into here's the USB with the information. It's a very 2009 looking USB, by the way. Oh, well, it's set in 2018, isn't it? It should look older, I suppose. Anyway, she doesn't do anything. And then John Connor is just, like, Christian Bale is just, maybe it's the direction of his performance, but it's a extraordinarily bad performance. It's just actively, I'm listening to it and watching it like, it's bad. I say listening because there were times where I just got up and walked around the house. I got like headphones on, but I'm like taking a leak and John Connor's doing a speech where he's like, that's what distinguishes us between the robots. We as humans, no, you are a robot. You have less character than a robot. There's really no character to him. There's no, like, he's just, like, such a gruff, super serious. Like, it's so opposed to what we've seen with John Connor. I mean, I guess, he was a character in the second movie. Even when there was all these action things, he was just like, yeah, yippee-ki-yay. Cowabunga. Don't have a cow, man. Kind of kid. And, that's a dated thing. It's not outdated, but he was like a kind of 90s kid, that kind of thing. Who the hell are you? John Connor. But then, it seemed, and then in Terminator 3, like his character just suddenly is just like, I'm an alcoholic. I can't deal with. He does become quite morose. But but that is something, I guess. I know, like. I don't know, maybe thinking about it, like he becomes like, he's addicted, he breaks into a vet to steal like drugs. But that makes sense, that's fine for the character, it makes sense coming off from Terminator 2. It's just, maybe it's a lot of a sudden character change, like all of a sudden he seems like, real PTSD'd, but then again, like you see John Connor in Terminator 2, all this wacky shit's happening, and even close to the end of the movie, he's not super serious. He's still like, I don't know, cracking jokes and whatever and this thing and that. And he's able to, and I guess that's like, part of the whole, that could be a reason why John Connor was like such a savior of humanity, because he had humanity. He was able to like, make people, feel safe and happy. He had this like warmness to him, not just leadership skills, but he was able to like, make people feel okay in like a desolate, apocalyptic situation like that. But that's not what you see in like any of the Terminator movies, including Terminator Salvation. So, I guess not. I guess my idea, my character continuation, and just who gives a fuck, that's probably what AI would tell you. Or who needs to hear about that? Just like dilute the movie until it's just grounded into a gray sludge. So John Connor is terrible in this movie, like the character and the actor. I mean, Kyle Reese has something going for him. Marcus Wright has something going for him. It seems like it's his movie more than John's. John's seems like he got like edited down, and it's no wonder, because he's just like, we have to get to Kyle Reese and get him out of here. But like Marcus Wright has a bit more of a whole like, whoa, wait a minute, like who am I? Why am I a robot? What's going on? That kind of thing. It's not heaps interesting, and we've seen it before, but it's something. There's something there you could have done interesting with, and anyway, not a lot of good things to say about this movie. The action isn't too bad. It's not too great, and obviously. Well, actually, looking back, I remember liking the action back when I saw it in 2009. It's just, I think now the CGI in this whole film is just really outdated. Doesn't look too great. Back in 2009, they're probably like, wow, look, it looks so real. Look at this huge like explosion going over a whole like destroyed city, rah! It's just, you watch it now, you're like, ugh. And it's funny because CGI is hardly any better nowadays. But that's the thing. You just dump CGI on everything and it's going to look bad with each passing year. All I can say is some of the action, it seems to be influenced by Apocalypse Now. Like, there's a bit of Apocalypse Now imagery here and there, like with the action scenes, with just like kind of how the military even looks in this movie. I'd say definitely an influence from the director. Putting it in this movie. That's fine. That's to be appreciated. It's something, and they're not like really aping that movie too much, so that's okay. And then there's some callbacks in this movie, like, you know, when you have when people say lines. Hey, remember that quote from the original movie? Or a moment or whatever, or it's like, oh, look, that's how he got his scar. All right. Some of that in this movie is it's not too tasteless. I'm trying to remember, like, I just know there's like 2 moments where someone gets slapped, but they look at the person like, oh, you shouldn't have done that, you know, that whole thing. I think it's in the first movie, but it's in the second one when that woman slaps the T-100. So there's that reference. I don't know. I guess the fact that they're in a lava factory at the end of the movie is another reference to the second movie. So, yeah, I mean, not a whole lot of that. I'm praising the movie for, like, shit that it doesn't do. Anyway, oh, man, you really made a masterpiece there, Big G. All right, we'll just round this return podcast off real quickly. But I guess a new Shrek teaser trailer came out, and I was wondering recently if there was going to be a new Shrek movie. And I'd be like, oh boy, I'm not going to watch it. And yeah, there we go. We have there really is a Shrek 5 coming out, and it looks different because we're seeing the animation for this new one. Yeah, the animation does look like a kind of very typical DreamWorks animation where things are like more droopy, you know? It's got that look, and it's just the same animation style as like the others. Like, why can't it look more like Shrek? Like Shrek, like as an animated, I guess it does look like a bit stiffer, and like, yeah, the animation isn't quite as but you know, that's its style, and that's what it's going for, and that's maybe even matches the whole aesthetic of Shrek as a man, as an ogre, as a symbol, as a way of life. But yeah, like, why the fuck would you do this? Why not just like have it animated in the style that it was before? Why the fuck has there been this change? Oh, great, now what are we gonna do? A bunch of people are like, dude, yo, it's like with the Sonic movie. They gotta change the animation. We can make this shit happen again. Like they did with the Sonic movie, because, like, yeah, we all know what happened there. But people just, like... No, first of all, who cares about the Sonic movie? But people were saying this about Minecraft. Like, Minecraft, they were saying when the trailer came out, oh man, it looks so terrible. Look at this, like, CGI, it looks awful. The design looks terrible. And I was looking at it like, how else would you want this to look, but whatever. Now the movie's come out and, like, no one cares. So it's a good thing they didn't redo the animation. Obviously, it would have been a lot more to redo than just a Sonic redesign. But yeah, I guess no one ended up caring in the end. Maybe we'll feel this way about Shrek 5. I don't know. But I really am not going to watch it. So I'm just talking about films that I'm not going to watch. I just can't wait to watch the trailer for Shrek 5. I just thought there would be another Shrek movie because, I don't know, because it's just, like, he's still in the cultural zeitgeist, I guess. He's being reintroduced to newer generations, I guess. There was that Shrek Retold thing that came out, so that should maybe help a little bit with, this whole cultural appreciation of Shrek. And now he's back. And, yeah, But you done goofed. You done goofed. Why the fuck would... I do understand, like, the comparison to Sonic, though. Like, you know, why fuck around with, like, this animation design? Now you can't change it. Oh, whatever. Fuck this. Who cares? Anyway, on to the earthquake that happened recently. Alright, well... Anyway, that's the end of... that's all I want to say about this return of thing. Well, I guess I was going to talk a bit about AI real quick. I don't really know what to say, because... Well, I guess there's a topic... Like, this happened recently with the whole Studio Ghibli... Like, people were making memes out of it. And then, like, man, the internet got hell fucking butthurt. Oh, man, you know, like, you look at filmmakers and how they feel about AI, and they're just shitting their pants because, you know, when it comes to creating, you know, horrible, putrid, awful, terribly made, offensively bad... with no existential reasoning at all. With films that are like that, you want them to be made by people, not by computers. When you want a real fucking terrible movie to come out and be watched by no one, it should be made by people. People should be the one making it. Rather than AI or whatever. I don't know. Look, we're not even up to... Like, people are already thinking, like, AI is going to take over filmmaking. I don't know. Things don't end up the way you really think. Obviously, it's going to help, you know, creating background extras or whatever. I don't know. Things that, you know, bring down the cost of a movie greatly so that more independent movies, genuine independent movies can be made on like $1,000, maybe a few $100,000 budgets. Because now you also need to, like, because the budget has gone up as well, because you need to hire all these insurers for actors and intimacy coordinators and COVID-19 coordinators and, you know, making sure this doesn't end up there and this in your eye and all this kind of crap. So yeah, a little AI help doesn't go largely amiss. And also you still have human eyes and ears and fingers and bodily appendages working with the AI to adjust it to make sure, you know, you don't have wacky looking extras in the background. You don't want to embarrass yourself like that. Nah, fuck that, man. I just want, you know, I'm not going to watch any movie that's like AI at all. Oh, man. I actually do see on Facebook, like, well, I guess there's not too many, like, people, like, the difference between comedians and filmmakers with how they feel about AI. I think comedians don't give a fuck, and they really should, because AI comedy is way better, and it's way easier to make. And I think genuinely it's just easier to, like, create that kind of thing, because if you want to have an AI-generated film, like, entirely AI, like, it's gonna look pretty messy these days, and honestly, 10 years from now, it might still be that way. It might still not be super interesting. But it does seem like comedians, yeah, maybe just don't care, or they're a bit more embracing of it. But filmmakers, man, they're just... They don't want to hear it, you know? And I've heard some of them say they will not watch any movie that has any bit of AI used in it at all. So they can't watch The Brutalist. Even if it's AI in the advertising of a movie, they won't watch it. Oh, no, we're just trying to bring down our budgets, damn it. But yeah, well, I mean, but like specifically with the Studio Ghibli stuff, like you're creating, it's just memes. It's just like, look, it's a photo of, like, you know, it's a screenshot from like a movie like Irreversible or Silo, but it's been Studio Ghibliized. Look at that, isn't that funny? But people are like, oh my god, this is an insult to humanity itself. You want to rape the corpse of Miyazaki? He's not even dead. Yeah, that's really how people be feeling about that, and how they kind of, by the looks of things, misinterpreted a Miyazaki quote about AI, where he was shown like this Resident Evil looking AI conception. And it's like, well, that's obviously not the aesthetic that he wants to go for. So, but now everyone's like, oh my god, like, see, he hates it. He doesn't want computers to... Blah, blah. Yeah, he also doesn't like 3D animation. Well, I don't know. Maybe he likes it fine enough, I guess. I don't know. This is how people were feeling about 3D movies when they were coming out. They're like, oh, you're not drawing, you're not actually drawing it. Oh, you just make it in a computer. It's not really animation, is it now? Is it you just having a computer just make it? It's not authentic, So I don't know if that's how he feels about that, but yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to be too much of a Luddite with this whole thing, and like just being like so defensive against AI that it makes me suspicious. Like, why are you being this offensive towards it? Like, why you? I don't know. There's a lot to be said about like AI and its creation with movie making that I guess I've gone on before, and I've already gone on about how algorithmic movie making is anyway. But it just specifically with the Studio Ghibli thing, because just people just shit a fucking prick about it. I wanted to take screenshots of the Myanmar earthquake and Studio Ghibli eyes them and say like, this was the worst thing that happened this month. But anyway, yeah, it's just people having a little bit of fun with memes, just creating like not single screenshots, but maybe a whole bunch of screenshots of you and your friends. Hey, look, we look like anime characters now. Hey, isn't this cool? I mean, why the fuck does anyone have to say, no, man, you needed to actually draw that? If you want to have you looking like a anime piece of shit, why don't you just, draw it yourself? I want you make a computer. I just wanted to see what it looked like real quick. Just wanted to have a look. On top of, there's got to be so many people out there that didn't even know about Miyazaki until they saw these memes. And now they're watching his movies like, oh, wow, these movies are cool. And, oh, I love the animation style. Hey, it's great, And, if I'm going to watch a Miyazaki movie or a Studio Ghibli movie at all, I do want to watch it in... let's just say it's not going to be AI generated. Yeah, when I watch an actual movie, because a movie is different from a meme. Anyway, whatever. I don't care. You know what? I don't care. I don't need to... Why would I even try to, try to just come up with these reasons, defend my reasons against these mentally ill people? They're not just like, well, it just doesn't sound like a good idea, I'm done with the internet. I'm done with filmmakers and left-wing and right-wing and, comedians and everyone, because everyone's very, absolute in their opinion on AI. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it does seem like my opinion on the whole thing is going to be changing as it goes on. I just don't think I can be quite as much of a fortune teller as because I can't say with confidence that this AI is really going to take off like you think it will with movies, And why even bother? Because if you want to make AI-generated content, why don't you make AI-generated ASMR videos to actually make money, AI generate a hot Asian chick who's like, and then a bunch of people are like, oh my god, I want to fuck her. Who is this? It's just like, oh my god, dude, it's not even real. It's AI-generated. I saw this with a porn video recently. I saw a porn video and there was one comment and it said, yo, you gotta tell me who she is. And I'm like, yo, you know what, man? This is an AI fucking video. Or it's at least CGI. Looks not too real to me, but it could fool some people. So yeah, anyway, shut the fuck up, filmmakers, and fucking let us have our fucking memes. Let us express ourselves. Let people express themselves with the technology that's available. It's literally causing more money to go into Studio Ghibli because more people are finding out about them. It's not... How is it... It's just disrespectful because you just don't like AI, because it's just the unpopular thing to hate. And that's fine. It's I understand AI is going to ruin the economy, and it's environmentally destructive, and it is going to make all the already present problems in the world even worse. But just with these memes that people are making, just haha, it looks like an anime. People have been doing this with all sorts of other artists, making images look like these things, and Yeah, anyway, no, fuck off. Don't take yourself so seriously. Your shit ain't that great. And even if we did have an AI-generated movie, it'd probably be better than the movie that you sat around and wrote with 20 other people, all sticking their fingers and other bodily appendages in the pie. I want an AI-generated pie instead, came out. Anyway, this has been the return of the David Morgan Brown Experience. Episode 101, 2025. I'm a single man again, back on the dating scene. Oh, awesome, man. I can't wait to expose myself to a bunch of single women. Oh, god damn it. Oh, I hate to be back in the fire, back in the pit. Yeah, very short relationship, 6 months. Huh, I thought it would go for longer. Anyway, before I start yelling about my ex again,